Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Wasmatic and I am here with another skills and build guide. This time I have built up a fast swords and alchemy build which puts out an extremely high level of damage from fast sword attacks. The downside being that you are actually more vulnerable and susceptible to damage, so I guess it's kind of a glass cannon scenario. But anyway, so here we have Geralt again in his pants. And if I go to the character screen, I'm going to run through how we build the character. You'll see I've unlocked all of my skill trees now. So we start off, I'm going to jump into alchemy. We actually do want some heightened tolerance because decoctions and potions feature quite heavily in this build. Excuse me. I'm also going to put in some acquired tolerance as well. That will give us the ability to use more potions should we need them in combat. So we dive straight into the combat, which is going to be the primary focus for this build. First thing we do is put 5 points into muscle memory to get that fast attack speed up. Now we know we're not going to use strong attacks for this, so we ignore that. We know we're not going to use arrow deflection and defense. We're not going to use the crossbow attacks or jump across to battle trance. Adrenaline point loss upon taking damage is lowered. Adrenaline point acquisition being quite important in this build, so I'm just going to put 3 points in for now. I'm going to dive straight across to here and get the alt attack, which is precise blows, I think. No, sorry, the alt attack's the third one down. So this is increasing chance of landing a fast attack critical hit by 2%. So you'll see this go up and up in terms of the fast attack. So if I just have a quick dive into it, start off with a fast attack critical damage, it's at 5%. And it hasn't changed. That's interesting because I haven't built it yet, obviously. So then we have a decision to make on what's the next steps, and we could go into fleet-footed, so damage from hits received while dodging is reduced by 20%. That's pretty handy, so I'm going to go for that. I don't want to put any points into battle trance. When vitality reaches 0, adrenaline points will be consumed to restore vitality, because I'm actually going to get the vitality restoration from my alchemy. Excuse me. So we put 5 points into fleet-footed, and that doesn't get us down to the next tier. Oh, I thought it did. So we put 2 more points in here, I'm guessing. Ah, there we go. That's right. It would be good if I could remember my own build. So again, we go into fast attack. Now this is whirl. This is the spinning, whirling dervish of fast attacks. Does an awful lot of damage to be used in the right context. So for example, if you use this with a golem or an earth elemental who blocks, then you'll just bounce off it. But you'll notice as soon as I put a point in, no, it doesn't do it now. It's an ability you have to hold on the Xbox. You hold the button down to continue the attack. So that's given us our alt attack for fast attacks. We've now got decisions to make. I don't put any points into successful counter attack, so I'm going to jump over here and look at battle trance. Instantly gain an adrenaline point when entering combat, and adrenaline points generated by sword blows are increased by 5%. That's really quite important. Drop some more points in there. We are now going to have to find some points. So again, jump over. Fast attacks now apply a bleeding effect. Now you could opt not to have this and put some more points into alchemy. They apply the bleeding effect and affected enemies lose 25 vitality or essence points per second. Now that's quite nice. I always like to put a dot damage on, whether it's a poison from an oil or a bleed. That suits me fine. So you could stop at this point and just put your points into alchemy. But for now I'm going to drop 5 points into there. Now to complement the fast attack, I am going to grab a point into using the light gear, the light armour, which is the cat skull, the feline armour set. Interestingly, when I've tested this build out, I found that the griffin skull also worked quite well. Now interestingly, the bonus from the griffin skull is the increase in sign intensity, which sounds daft because there are no signs in this build whatsoever, but the stamina regeneration that you get from the full set of the griffin skull actually works really well with the dervish attack. But for this build we're going to go with the obvious choice, and each piece of light armour increases your critical hit damage by 25% and fast attack damage by 5%. So there we go. I'm actually going to drop that in here. Okay, so we've got the alchemy points, and we now drop back into swords. So how else can we embellish this? Well, this is an interesting one. Each adrenaline point adds 1% to the chance of killing an opponent instantly. That's great. That's at the 4th tier of the swords, the combat skill tree. It feels a little bit underwhelming. So each adrenaline point adds 1%. So you've got a 3% chance, if I'm right in my calculations. So 3 adrenaline points in this. So I'll put points into that anyway, just because we've got the points. So each adrenaline point adds 2% to the chance of killing an opponent instantly. So it's a 6% chance. It's quite low, but it'd be nice to have. And then the final 5 points that I've put into this is so we don't have to invest any points in the signs skill tree. I take this Flood of Anger, which means that when we have 3 adrenaline points and we cast a sign, we get it instantly unlocked, all the bonuses right the way through to the highest level of that sign. Now, to build up 3 adrenaline points can often take quite a long fight, but I think it's worth having. So there you go. So those are all of our points. So now let's start to build. Let's see this build. So we've got all of the fast attacks to start with. We know we want all of these. All of these, all of these, all of these. Okay. This build will have a skill tree with the 2 alchemy in. So I'm going to drop those in next to the armor boost, and I'm going to put a green mutagen into that slot. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points left and 5 slots left. So we just drop these in one at a time, and then we get the full benefit of all of these swords attacks. Dum, dum. Now, like I've said before, the benefit, the downside to this attack is, this build, is that you are very susceptible to damage. So dodging is a really important part to play in this. So there we have it. All of the mutagens are in the slots. You will note from this that I actually only have 1 greater red mutagen at the moment. I've found it really difficult farming the mutagens, but if I had 2 more greater red mutagens, then I would have attack power 40%, 80%, 120% in total. So I'm slightly down on the attack power at the moment. You see the DPS at the moment on the silver sword, and the DPS on the steel sword is low, is 0 in fact. Couldn't get much lower, we could, because I wanted to show you as you build now the armor up. So if we take a quick look at the silver sword, fast attack critical hit chance is 15%, and the silver sword strong attack critical hit chance is 5%. Where's the steel sword? There you go, steel sword there. So they've got the same stats again. So let's start to build this up with the feline armor, and we'll see the stats change. So we want the feline silver sword. There we go. And instantly you can see these stats going up on the bottom right. Then we want the feline steel sword. There we go. And now we want the full feline armor. I put the right bit, no, it's the wrong boots. Pants. I need to get those enhanced. And the enhanced feline boots, and then just need the gloves. Okay, there we go. So you see the DPS for the silver sword is 1617 and the steel sword 1168. If we drop down into the stats for the silver sword now, silver sword fast attack critical hit chances at 20%. We will use decoctions to get that up even further. I think it caps at about 25%. I could be wrong, but I can't get it any higher than 25% when I tested the builds out. Excuse me. And you will see the critical hit damage is now at 1659, so that's quite high. In terms of decoctions, forgive me for my cough, it's driving me mad. So if we look at the decoctions, I will be using where's it gone? There we go. So I'll use the Katakan decoction, increases critical hit chance. Now because we're doing lots of fast attacks, we're doing lots of damage, I use this. Damage dealt... Oh, sorry. Let's get it right, Warren. Damage dealt to foes regenerates vitality. So I use that one as well. So I'm actually healing myself through using the decoction. So whenever I'm bashing out quite high levels of damage, I'm also healing myself. Just to give you a quick example of how the attack works, the ult attack, it's a spinning... Oh no, pick on one of the locals. Spinning attack. There you go, and you can maintain your directional control while you're doing it, but you'll see that the stamina burns out very quickly when you're doing that. So what I've found is really, really useful with that spinning attack, and it puts out a huge amount of damage, is when you're, if you dodge to one side and you can get behind an enemy, you can just keep moving around and keep doing damage behind them. So there you go. That's the build, and I'll just go back again so you can have another look at it. There you go. Very, very high amounts of damage. I mean, I've been taking out a couple of Witcher contracts with monsters that are about 3 to 4 levels higher than me, and as long as I can get in range and do that spinning attack, they're dead probably in the first run. But let's go and find somebody to test it out on. Okay, I have found a monster to fight, and it's actually an end game boss, I believe, called Harrisi. I'm going to hopefully test out this fast swords build and not get hit. So to start with, I'm going to make sure I've got the right potions in place. So I've got Swallow, and I should have Thunderbolt. 100% critical hit chance during storms. No, I don't want that. I want the attack power. Oh, that might be handy. Okay. This is a little bit worrying. Where's my potions gone? Do you know what? I'm going to take that one instead. It's going to be handy. And here we go. So you'll watch out for me doing the spinning attack. I don't know what to expect here, so let's see what happens. I should probably drop a quarry yourself. If I can get near the blooming thing. So there you go, you see how fast it will chop him down. Done. Didn't even need any of those potions. So there you go. That's the build. Fast attack. You can see the amount of damage it does. It's just about the positioning and avoiding taking damage, just as a quick reminder. So to get those points you need 3 trees full of combat skills. Fast attack all the way down, muscle memory, precise blows, fast attack, your whirl, and crippling strikes. To get the bleed effect on, I put 5 points into avoiding damage when I'm dodging, and also 2 points into the chance of killing an opponent instantly, because with fast attacks, even though it's only 6% in total, with fast attacks hitting so often, your chances are going to increase. Yeah, and so you've got your resolve on the battle trance tree. Adrenaline point loss upon taking damage is lowered by 100%, so you're not going to lose any of those adrenaline points. The more you're attacking, the higher your points are going to be, the more damage you're going to do. Gaining adrenaline point when you enter into combat, and adrenaline points generated by swords are increased by 25%, so you're going to get those adrenaline points faster. At the moment I only have 1 out of the 5 points in Flood of Anger, but I would cap that out at 5 points as well, so I can get maximum benefit from using signs as well. Mostly I will be using Erden and Quen with that. Okay, so then you have your 5 points in heightened tolerance and your 3 points in acquired tolerance, so you can actually take a couple of decoctions and use some potions as well. And then finally you have your cat school techniques. So I hope that's been useful, as ever. If you found this useful, please give it a like or a comment, and always subscribe. The button will be on the screen at the end of the video. Thanks very much for watching again, and I hope this build serves you well.